Welcome everyone to our TRMN Social Hour. This evening we bring you an Ask Me Anything with Final Sort Productions. They are the producers of the D6 Epic Game System, the Honorverse RPG, War Worlds RPG, Shadow Sprawl RPG, and the Change RPG, and a whole lot more. All of this can be found at finalsortproductions.com.
If you have a question for them, please message myself or Diane just that you have a question, and we will put you in the queue. And when it's your turn, we'll call your name. You can unmute your mic and turn on your video if you want, if it's off, and ask your question.
All right. Good evening, Final Sword. Good to see you. Let's start with some basic introductions for each of you. We're going to start with Sam Prey first. Sam, how are you? And when you're done telling us about who you are, how you are, and all that good stuff, you can go ahead and pick the next person to introduce themselves.
I'm Sam Prey. I'm the owner of Final Sword Productions. I do artwork, layout, ask questions, shipping, generally a little bit of everything. Doing fairly well. Wish I could get to conventions to sell some of this stuff, but that will change. And I'll let Terri take it over from here. We'll leave Ray for last because he's the best.
I'm Terri Prey, Sam's long-suffering wife. Oh, probably got that the wrong way round. He's the long-suffering husband. I turned Game Geek into English, which can be a bit of a struggle sometimes. I write and do artwork for other projects outside of gaming. And as you can hear, I'm originally from England. I've been over here 21, almost 22 years now. So, Rage, you're up next.
I'm Rage. I'm a technical writer for Final Sword. I write actual game content. I'm a production monkey, and I pack stuff. I'm actually pretty good at packing stuff now.
Is that everyone? Yes,
I'm in Minnesota, just a little bit from those two. So. You good?
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. We're going to go ahead and talk about some of the creative and fun things Final Sword has done. You all have a very long list of RPG games and 3D board games, from Saganami Island Tactical Simulator to the Dead of Space series to Battle Skies, the Shadow Sprawl series, and a bunch more. Please tell us a brief history about Final Sword and some of the fun stuff that you all do over there.
Terri and I joined up with Final Sword 15 years ago now. Daniel Poulter brought us in to help him with some of the projects, some of it for the Honorverse, some of it for other things. Since then, we've come out with the supplements for the SITS games, the Janes. We're working on the Honor RPG, which as soon as I get artwork done, it gets sent off to get approvals, and then it'll be available for everybody. We've got the Battle Skies game, which is a fantasy dragon combat game. We're looking at streamlining the rules a little bit and adding in other things like Pegasus and other fantasy creatures. Oh, what else? The D6 Epic was our house system. We're going to a modified D20 system that Rage came up with. And that's what the Honorverse RPG is going to be based on. We do the miniatures for the ships. Hopefully, we'll be able to start doing miniatures for the Honor RPG for those who like to use miniatures on their tabletop games. I'm not sure what else.
Shadow Sprawl.
Shadow Sprawl is Terri's world that she's working on. It's a paranormal technology, kind of like cyberpunk and
you want me to take over?
Yeah, I was just trying to think of the other system, Shadowrun.
Yeah, no, Shadow Scroll actually goes back in history and introduces the various legends, gods, goddesses, and their multiple offspring into the storylines. Then you can play in the standard setting, which is at about 25, 30 years from now, when utter chaos has taken over. And I don't mean political per se, it's the corporations have taken over and semi-collapsed. And my brain is trying to switch itself off. And then there is the System Wars setting, which is our space opera. Again, it's set about 300 to 400 years after a third civil war. We haven't really gone much beyond our own solar system. And hey guys, we're no longer alone. We've just attacked Pluto, and we've got lots of fun aliens trying to wipe out humanity while wipe out the majority of military humanity while taking the rest of us for food sources, slaves, manual labor. And the whole thing starts off with a bunch of Marines in an illegal bar on Pluto. What could go wrong, right?
Sorry, Sam and Rage, I was muting you because we're getting some feedback from Terry's computer to, I think it's Sam's. I was trying to figure it out.
I'm
but
not in the same house.
No,
So.
yeah.
Well, somebody asked me to unmute, so I unmuted.
Yeah, I muted you to see if it would help and it didn't, so.
Real quick, curious, out of all the 3D board games and RPG worlds that you guys, could have, created for the different universes, what drew you to the Honorverse specifically for you to make this, like SITS and all these other games that you're creating?
With SITS and the supplements for SITS, we inherited that. We were around for the creation of it. Once I saw what SITS was about and what the Honorverse was about, I was trying to get an RPG done a lot sooner than now. Various issues came up which wouldn't allow us to do it. And when it finally was able to, we started cranking it out. I think it will be a wonderful system to play in. People will realize that they're not Honor. Honor does things that are impossible for normal players to do, but it will be fun for people to play in it and interact with some of the things that we are allowed to be able to do. We've been given almost free reign to put creatures and space stations, mining companies and such throughout the Honorverse. So it'll expand the work that David had already done.
Sam, we were given a specific section and time frame.
Yeah, we right now we can only play in the Silesia sector, but that we were told if that works out, we can expand outwards.
Cool. So still kind of a little bit more about SITS. You guys made miniatures for the game. What made you add this nice little detail to the game, and what other changes have you made over the years as it's been developed and been played?
The miniatures were added because people were asking about them, just to see the ships and be able to use them in place of the holocubes that comes with the game. We're working on some of the newer ships, but we have to have what is called a watertight model to be able to get them into miniature form. And that takes a lot of work. I know John's working at trying to make the language of the SITS rulebook a little bit easier for people to understand, rather than somebody reading something going, I don't understand that, having it worded that an average Joe on the street can read it and go, oh, I understand how that's played.
Right.
Yes.
For sure, I'm sure.
Heading a tiny bit more towards the simplicity of X-Wing, sort of, rather than that's a lot of physics.
Yeah, it is a lot. It's quite a complicated game for sure. And when you're making these games and all these creations of these worlds, how do you prevent yourself from being overwhelmed by all that goes into this? Like, do you use a tracking system for these projects, like a Trello or anything like that?
Mainly it's sitting down, Rage, me, and Terry, and writing notes out, trying to. I haven't found a good tracking system that will work for us. So just kind of company meetings, like, okay, we're looking at this now. How do we go from here? Getting feedback from other people
Terry, oh yeah, there you go.
helps as well. I mean, talking with various members of the TRMN, what they would like to see in the game allows us to go, well, we can put that in this one, but that thing would probably be a supplement later on. Jack Warren was asking about the Bozeman's mates. And we think that will be a better supplement as a prestige class character rather than in the initial rule book. Expanding out with like snipers and heavy power armor users, just to give more content without making the book like yay big when it first comes out.
Hi, you need probably to carry the rules. That's not what they want.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you describe game design and world building to people who maybe don't know what it is? Like, say, when you're explaining what you do for a living at a party.
Herding cats. Doing game design and turning literary works into game design. It's you get on. You're like, okay, we'll focus on this. Oh wait, Happy Tangents line, and we're over here. And in trying to get back to the main thing, it's like herding a room full of cats, trying to get them to go into one direction. It's easier with just 3 people, but it means the 3 people have to do a lot more work. And it's easier with the game design if you're talking with people who understand that it takes time. It's not just, oh, we just type it up and here it is. You have to make sure it works right. There's no loopholes that gamers can use to make a character that takes over the universe in a day. So yeah, the best way I describe it when somebody asks how game design is, it's herding a room full of cats.
And also,
Yeah.
also
Definitely sounds
the world building side. Oh dear.
I
Pam,
muted.
can you mute?
I did.
You have to turn your sound off. Your not your microphone, your volume down.
Just did.
That's better.
Okay, with world building, it's the equivalent of putting together an encyclopedia for somebody else's world. When you're doing it for a world that's already been set up, there is a lot of time, as Rage will attest to, going through wikis, going through the books themselves, going through conversations you've had with people who are heavily into the setting, and writing down notes, and then going back and going, okay, I need this, I need this, I need this. This can wait for a supplement. Oh, animals will have a separate supplement, except this is a sentient animal. It has to be in the main book because it's important to the setting. And if we don't, they're going to hunt us down and hang us up by our toenails. So you've got to balance what is there in the books with also what the fans are eager to see. If you forget something that is important to the fans, they will never, ever let you live it down.
Nope. No, they won't. I think we're all quite familiar with that. Sure.
And let's just,
So real quick, we got our advertising spot. Oh, advertising spot. Okay, A Matter of Honor LARP has a few tickets left, y'all. Not too much is happening as far as, you know, uh, not having any spots. We've only got a few left. So if you want to get on top of that, I would go ahead and do so now. Remember, it is at www.matterofhonorlarp.com. For further details, it's all right there as you see on the screen. So don't forget, take a look, grab your tickets when you can. They're going to go quick. Also, BuseUp has a whole bunch of new cool stuff there. If you go to store.trmn.org, you can check out their brand new merchandise. All right, we're back to our show. I'm going to switch speeds here. The lovely Terri Prey. Hello, hello. You are quite the accomplished author yourself. You have written in some of these different genres and worlds. Which has been your favorite and why?
Oh, now you're being mean. It's like picking between favorite children. There is the part of me that loves writing fantasy and science fiction. Working on the System Wars setting, where I don't have to worry so much about the emotional bonds between characters. I am not saying they are not still deep. I'm saying I don't have to open the door and show you what's going on inside. I'm able to write stuff without worrying, am I building up sexual tension or not? Then there's my naughty side that goes, I need 3 men, a Kama Sutra, a dungeon. Oh, yes, this sounds great. So it really depends on where I am, on what I'm working on at the time. I'm actually releasing my first reverse harem novel this month, which has been interesting. Working out a relationship between 4 consenting adults it's a challenge, but I'm enjoying it. And there's more books planned for the System Wars setting. Some of them will have more of a murder mystery feel to them, because as you guys know, with being on a Harrington's fans, there is more than go out there, shoot the enemy, conquer the bad guys, peace returns to the universe. There's other types of interpersonal relationships going on. And at the end of the day, any story that doesn't draw you into the characters and what they're doing isn't worth you reading. You get drawn in by them, not just what's happening around them. Hopefully that explains a few things.
It does, actually.
It does.
So you all collectively have a lot of world building experience. In your opinions, what are the top 3 things to remember when you're world building in any medium?
Ooh, I have one.
Have a
And each of you
large
please
stiff
go-
drink.
Besides the scotch. Like,
Don't
where
let
do you
Rachel
start? What's
go
one of the
first.
first main things that you look for?
What was that?
What are some of the first things that you look for when you make your worlds?
I tend to, the first thing I look for is the tech base. That's kind of my thing. I'm a huge nerd and a geek, and I look for the tech base first. And once I have the tech base, putting characters into it is easy. Half the time, if I already have that tech base, I can go around and go, hey, here's a D20 system. Somebody make me a character and I'll use it wherever it's going to go. So I don't have to worry about character building. All I have to do is put the physical structure together, and everything and everything else works pretty good for me.
Sam?
Yeah, it's.
Sam, you're on mute.
Hold on. There. When I'm looking at a book, turning it into a game, I look at the overall, almost, some writers call it their Bible, where it lists out how they got to where they're going. Also looking at playability. Some books you read through it as this will make a great game until you start to think about it. We had a license that we had to let go because there wasn't any real RPG potential to it, and that was the Book of Swords by Saberhagen. Because it's around these swords, you get a sword, everybody's trying to kill you, and the sword takes you over. So there was not really any role-playing options available. So you have to look at what options are available and how much information the author has put in. Filling in the blanks can be a very major headache, because if you put something in there and the author's like, no, that's not what I want, but that's kind of where you were leading to with what you were saying here. Oh, but I didn't think about it there, so that can't be put in. That's what I look at when I'm looking at a world, a series of books that are looking at being turned into a game. Honorverse has a huge opening to allow people to game in it without even coming into contact with Honor Harrington. There's the Pirates in Silesia, there's espionage, there's the Audubon Ballroom. There's a whole lot that players can find enjoyment on and not really be in the orbit of Honor Harrington.
For me, it's a little bit different. I look at the social structure. If you can't develop the social structure and open it up for people to come into, then you're lost. With the Honor Harrington setting, you are automatically introduced to a military social structure. You've got your core element right there. When you are in the military, you know you are dealing with 100 different things all at once. But if you're in trouble, there's a person above you who you can go to for help. And there's a person below you that you can sometimes say, well, it was their fault. Yes, it's more expansive than that, but that's very much a part of dealing with that particular social structure. You've got it right the way through from death all the way up to retirement or death in battle or whatever else has happened. So your social structure is always based around the military. Even when she's on Grayson, her military social structure is more important than what she's dealing with on Grayson, though she adapts to their social structure. She is always Honor Harrington of the Royal Manticoran Navy, first and foremost. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody, but that's how I see it. It's like if you're doing something that is based in medieval Europe, there's two main social structures that's going on there: the civilian social structure and the church. The one that has the most importance there is the church, unless you're the king, and then only after Henry VIII. But I'm sidetracking.
But that means that as a team, we work really well. I look at the overall structure. Rage looks at the technical side of it, and Terri looks at the social side of it. So we can kind of merge it all into, we hope, a very workable system.
It's really cool. It's really cool.
All right. So you guys do a lot for TRMN. And I'm not sure if people really know how much you really do. And we would like to say thank you to you. Thank you. Thank you. Can you please tell us what you exactly do for TRMN itself? I, for one, happen to like your shirts.
I'm wearing one too, but it's under my coat because it's cold out here.
Yeah.
Cold in Minnesota? No,
Yeah,
can't
and
be.
I'm outside in the garage, so.
Mainly right now for the TRMN, we're handling the majority of their t-shirts. we do still have hoodies left, and right now I'm working at getting a new web shop set up. Our old one did fine, but the cost of it with COVID going on isn't something we can justify easily. So we're going to hopefully a better setup, and we'll be able to, we're going to have a sale once it opens up on the leftover hoodies. So they'll be there, and then all the sits games, the Janes, all that will also be up there for people.
We've also done more than a bit of sending people your way, because we can be at a small book event or a local convention, and somebody will walk up and go, "Oh, David Weber, I love his stuff. I didn't know there was a game out." And the next words out of our mouths are, "Did you know there's a fan group too?" So we've probably spent in our time easily into three-figure numbers. It's not a huge amount, but we try to make sure that, yes, Zach, there's a fan group. we try to make sure people are sent your way.
Awesome.
So once cons get started up again, what's your first stop on the convention service or circuit?
Depends on which ones open up first. Our local one that we've been going to since the second year they started just said that they're not going to have it again this year. They're going with a virtual con. Hopefully I would, from a business standpoint, I would like to do some more local ones to build up a cash reserve to do the ones out in Denver or Colorado Springs or down south, but that just depends.
WorldCon.
Again.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, we're all about WorldCon. All right, so here's what we're gonna do next. We're gonna go ahead and turn this over to the social crew. We've got some people lined up who's got some questions. Let's go ahead and we will start with the first person. Zach, you are up, my friend. Zach White.
Zach White.
Paging Zach White.
I'm here. Sorry, I was muted. How's it going, Sam and Terry and Rage? How you guys doing? You mentioned earlier in your talk when you were introducing what you guys did that you needed artwork for your Honorverse RPG, and we just happen to have an art department here in TRMN. Is there anything we can help you with? And most of our artists are also have NDAs with Bu9, so if that's a problem, it's not on our end. So is there anything we can help you with is the short question.
I'll take a look at what art I need and see what there is. Right now, one of my biggest hangups is I'm trying to get the uniform right on a 3D model. Because once I get the uniform right,
hey, so are we. Maybe we can pool resources.
Yeah, I think you guys should probably talk with each other. So Zach, I'll put that. Yeah, Zach and Sam need a meeting. Zach, Sam, meeting.
And Bob.
Okay, we have and Bob. Zach, Sam,
Yeah.
Bob. Yeah, I'll tell Lori. Okay. We're going to move on to the next question here. Jackie Snedden, the lovely Jackie. I think you're muted.
Karakov.
We can't hear you, Jackie.
She's showing us Terakov.
Yeah.
She wanted to know why the Terakov had a graphic on the back of the t-shirt instead of the front.
I think that's John's fault.
No, that's not my fault. I just came up with the idea and sent Sam a rough drawing, and I actually had more nuclear strikes coming in. Sam ended up and decided, I guess, to put it on the back because of the opposite idea.
Well, that and the few people I talked to at conventions said that they prefer artwork on the back because
It's
whatever
uncomfortable
reason.
when you go to read something on the front of a large tracts of land female like me.
Yeah.
People like staring at my boobs like trying
Yeah,
to
but
read
if you-
this stuff, so it's on the back.
If
No.
it's on the back, if you're sitting at a table, nobody can see it.
That is true as well. But if you're walking around the con, people can see it and then go ask you where it is. It's kind of a trade-off. But yeah, talking with people, it was one of the things, like Diane said, having guys come up and stare at a woman's chest, it's uncomfortable for them.
Yes, it is.
Which is why most of the artwork for the TR Men shirts is just a little patch, and then the rest of it's on the back.
I have to say that
Yeah,
I personally appreciate that.
Me too. I do too.
Now, the other aspect was also when Sam and I talked with this before putting it out, was that David had at one point in a panel had said had rated Terracop as basically Honor Harrington with no breaks. So by having the Your Grace in front and the Terracop in back, it gets that dichotomy there. If you see what I'm saying.
But there's nothing on the front of the shirt.
Not on the Terracop, but on the
Yeah.
Your Grace there is. All the writing's on the front.
You could almost do a combination of Your Grace on the front and Terracop on the back.
That'd be funny.
That would be hilarious.
That would be great.
I think we just made a new shirt. Good job. Good job, team.
That's all right. I think we need
Good job,
oops
Jackie.
on a shirt.
Yeah, I agree with that too, Mage.
Oops.
Question, Jackie, good question.
Yes, oops ought to be a
Fancy
shirt too. Yes.
BB team. All right, next question is to Jill.
So with the COVID stuff and everything, pretty much all of my role-playing groups are now using Roll20. Is there any plans to make the Honorverse role-playing available on such things like Roll20?
Once it gets put together, it can be the rules can be imported, but it has to be that'll take a little work. But yes, the rules can be imported so they can be inputted into Tabletop Simulator and Roll20 and I don't remember the other one now. You can manually input them now. That takes forever, but once they're put together, we can upload PDFs and things like that. It's going to be a little easier. I can answer that question. I know what that is.
And Zach, yes, there's going to be an updated Grace and Space Navy shirt. We've got the new artwork, but we have to go through our current stock before we order any more.
Kathy, you said that was your question, actually. Did Sam just answer it for you?
Yes.
Kind of, because all I ever saw was the one shirt that was basically the two swords, but that doesn't come in my size, unfortunately. And the last shirt, the only other shirt, I don't remember where I got. I think I got the other two shirts on like Amazon or something like that. I'm not sure, but I would love more Grayson shirts. I mean, really.
Well,
I
with
agree.
any
I
shirt-
happen to like my Grayson shirt too, and it's
Do we get a shirt
I
that
went
says
kapoof.
Grayson Pool Party?
yes, Sam.
with any of our shirts, if you contact us, we can special order larger sizes.
Good to know.
Cool.
Very good to know.
But when I've gone to your site, all I've seen is just the one.
Well, the new site will have all the shirts that we've got and the sizes that we've got, and I'll also have on in the description of them, if you need a larger size or some other special order, just contact us and we will see what we can do about it.
Okie dokie. Works for
Kathy,
me.
are you talking about the crippled or dead shirt, or are you talking about the one with the old GSN
That's
logo
one of the
on it?
ones I was talking about. Yes. What do you mean crippled or dead? It's dead or dead.
Well, no, it was actually your
I
Grace
think
was
it was named
this man crippled or dead.
crippled or dead.
The follow-on was, I do not want this man to leave this chamber alive.
I can live with that.
I'm okay with that. All right. So Alex Schaefer, go ahead and unmute. You have a question.
Yes. So you are able to say for future supplements for SITs?
Okay. The first thing I am working on is to rewrite the rules so a normal person who's never played it, I have a few victims in mind for that, can read and understand and operate everything in the game. I'm also working on a program to be able to create the SSDs for all the additional ships that we don't currently have in there.
And that's the biggest delay on coming out with any more supplements for SITs is the SSD creation.
And if everything works out, I will be releasing supplements along the same lines as they were released in the books. So we won't go from a basic RMN versus Peeps to go directly to Pirates, which didn't come in until book 6, and then drop back into Super Dreadnoughts, which was actually book 3.
I apologize. I did miss part of that because for some reason my connection just flickered.
We'll be working on more supplements once I get the rules rewritten and I get the program so I can print out all the other SSDs and have them now done automatically, so that we don't have to basically up till now, putting together and creating a new SSD is a one time per thing. I'm trying to write a program just to generate them. So yes, it's in the process. The supplement order will come out better than what it was the second in the first and second, because I'm sorry, there are no Grayson ships and SITs yet. They should have come in as the second supplement, the second ship book, in my humble opinion. Did that answer you?
I think
he foobarred.
Yep, I think he dropped.
I think he dropped too. I'm sorry.
That's all right. It's just his internet connection.
So
he
I'm
can always
swapping
watch the
for the second
recording to get
question.
the answer. There he is.
Are you back?
I'm swapping my connection. I will be going off video, but I have a second part to the question in a moment.
Okay. I understand about computer issues. Last I couldn't send out email.
All right. So it looks like that's the end. That's the end of our social hour for right now. What happens next is we end the recording, and everybody can go ahead and stick around for as long as they can. And this is when we have our adult time.
You're making the assumption, Diane.
That's your hint, Cheryl.
Diane, that sounded way sexier than it usually is.
That means the official TRMN Diane Buckley birthday party is about to begin.